Hey folks, it's Craig from the Vinyl Record Player, doing a video on albums that contain covers that crush. Sometimes they're even superior to the original version. Stick around. Okay, so let's talk about some albums with covers that crush. Often better than the original version. Actually, in fact, mostly better than the original version. Or at least equally as good. Let's just go ahead and talk about Stephen Stills' Love the One You're With, as covered on Aretha Franklin's Live at Fillmore West. Fantastic version on this. In fact, I think it's superior to the original version. I always had a trouble with the Stephen Stills version. I just find that the chorus needs something. I find the song to be very muddy in the middle. It kind of like goes off sort of like a Hammond organ groove with a little bit of bass, but there's just not much to it. And such a great song. This is totally remedied on this LP, which is from 1971. If you see a copy of this, you should get it. Even if you're not an Aretha fan, even if you don't like live albums, you should get this copy. Or not this copy, but a copy. The fact is that I think this is the best live album ever. Billy Preston is on keyboards. You've got some fantastic drumming. I think that the guy who drums on this is kind of a renowned Motown player. At any rate, Love the One You're With, Aretha Franklin, with a special honorable mention going out to the Isley Brothers, who also do a fantastic studio version, and they also do a great live version on their 1973 Isley's Live LP. At any rate, Love the One You're With. No one does it like Aretha. Okay, so this is Roberta Flack's first take from 1969. The easy choice, of course, would be the version of The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, which kind of did nothing when it first came out. That, of course, originally from Ewan McCall. Gorgeous song, stunning song, ridiculously amazing song, heart-wrenching. But instead, I'm going to choose the lead-off track on side 2 of this pretty excellent album, and that, of course, is the Leonard Cohen track. Hey, That's No Way to Say Goodbye. I have not heard a ton of versions of that song. I've heard the Leonard Cohen version, which, a lot of people say, and even Leonard Cohen himself said, the guy was a poet. He wasn't necessarily a singer, but he kind of grew into it, and people love him just because, he's a magic man. But Roberta Flack takes that song to just an amazing level, and it's frankly stunning. It's heart-rending for me. What's kind of hilarious about this is that my copy has like a skip just at the start of the vocal track, and it's kind of become part of the song for me, which is kind of hilarious because I only, I listen to this song digitally a lot because it's just heart-wrenching. But at any rate, there's a skip at the start, and whenever I hear the LP, I'm like, oh yes, I remember this. Anyway, great one, Leonard Cohen, as done by Roberta Flack. Again, the track is Hey, That's No Way to Say Goodbye. Classic. This is Lightfoot from 1966. This is another, if you're a person who is emotionally drawn to music, this is definitely your video. If you're like, man, that might be a little bit sucky, then, this is definitely not going to be your jam either. But anyway, this is mostly Gordon Lightfoot written jams, which is hilarious because when I first got this album, I was like, oh, wow, Gordon Lightfoot, he's just covering all the folk ditties on this one. He wrote all the folk ditties. He wrote them. I was just like, this is all true, except he does not write Phil Ochs changes, which on this LP is frankly stunning. This I think is definitely one of his best. I think this is his best early work. I still have a lot more to learn in the realm of Gord, but this LP, if you see it, you can probably get it cheap. I've seen a lot of copies around. Pick it up. It's a classic. It's a winner. You're gonna love it. So again, Changes by Phil Ochs, as done by Gordon Lightfoot. 1973. This is John Kay. John Kay's debut solo album. John Kay, of course, being the lead singer of Steppenwolf. The song that I'm talking about here is Many a Mile, which I believe was done originally by Patrick Wolf. Outstanding. Just does it lead off the album here? I don't think it leads off the album, but it definitely is. Oh no, it does. Leads off the album. And this also is a really great album from 1973. You can pick this up usually cheap anywhere. I've got a couple of copies because this is a really faded version. I've also got one where it's like basically black. And you know, on the back you got more of the fabulous John Kay from Steppenwolf. So anyway, outstanding version. Again, Patrick Wolf's Many a Mile, as done by John Kay. All right, well, Backrack David. You know, obviously, I could be whipping out 50 Dionne Warwick albums because, you know, she's a mistress of that realm. But I'm gonna have to go with I Just Don't Know What to Do With Myself from this Sissy Houston Janus compilation. Outstanding gospel version. Just, she's shouting, she's ripping, she's killing. She just doesn't know what to do with herself. Also, the White Stripes did a version of this, but again, it just really doesn't compare to Sissy, who's of course Whitney's mother. Classic record. Also great cover on this one of Any Guy, which is a jam by Melanie originally. Great record, great cover. Yeah, it's a northern. I think it's a Northern Soul sort of classic. So yeah, if you can find it, this one this one will shock you. It's very good. I Just Don't Know What to Do With Myself by Sissy Houston. This is Frankie Miller's High Life from 1973. I believe this is like an American version of it. The British version kind of has just a picture of his head. He's like, big smile, etc., etc. I don't know. Maybe they didn't think he was handsome enough for North America. I don't know, but it's a fine. But anyway, this he recorded this LP with Alan Toussaint, and Alan Toussaint produced the whole thing. He has a really good version of Play Something Sweet, or Brickyard Blues, which was originally done by Three Dog Night. And of course is an Alan Toussaint song. But I think his version is just so much superior to Three Dog Night. Again, I'm not a big Three Dog Night guy, and I'd be curious to listen to some of their stuff. But I listened to their version and I'm like, no, not even close. Great album in general. This is I think if you're going to get a Frankie Miller album, this is probably the one you want to have if you're only going to select one. Again, in his mid-70s period, there's a lot of really great stuff. So again, Alan Toussaint's Play Something Sweet, Brickyard Blues, as done by Frankie Miller. And let's end it off with a perennial favorite here on the channel. I'm talking about Willie Hutch. This is from 1976. This is Concert in Blues. I've shown this album before. But, so the other week I'm listening to it and I'm like, what? He does just a stunning version, like no, I don't even like this song, okay? And that's the song Shake, Rattle, and Roll, which I think was originally like Big Joe Turner. Anyway, it's kind of like a 50s rock and roll staple. I mean, Elvis did it. Everybody did it. Willie Hutch's version is hilariously funky. Like, you just are stunned that this is, how could this be the same song? Like, it's just blew me away. I was like, that's it's got a groove. It's happening. It's for those who like to move. At any rate, Willie Hutch does shake, rattle, and roll like no one else. So that, of course, would be the end of the Covers That Crush video. Thanks for checking it out. Do you know of any covers that crush or that are like absolutely definitive that have recently blown your mind? Leave a comment. Let me know. I mean, I'm always intrigued and interested in cover versions that crush. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, do nice stuff here.